I once had to explain to the police why I had 2 coffins in the back of my van.
David Steve.
Imagine I'm the police. Why have you got 2 coffins in the back of your van, sir?
Well, I was doing a touring play at the time, and there was vampires in it.
Yeah.
So we had 2 coffins in the back of the van as props. And we were actually in Germany doing this play called Neighbours with Long Teeth. And
Things never translate from English to German.
Why did the police stop you?
Well, unbeknownst to us, the head of the Deutsche Bank had just been assassinated in Frankfurt.
Right.
And they were stopping everyone.
And so they were pulling over basically all vans.
They were looking for anything dodgy, basically, I guess.
Right.
Where were you? Which city?
It was just outside Frankfurt.
I live there.
Do you?
Yeah.
So they pulled you over.
Machine guns, everything. Very, very serious situation.
Yeah.
And we had to explain the plot of our play, Neighbours with Long Teeth.
Because you speak a bit of German. So
Yeah.
you were the... How many of you were there?
3 of us.
Oh, you
3
should
of
have
us.
said 9.
What sort of venues are you touring around?
Schools.
Schools. So...
The plot went that I was a sort of young 17-year-old schoolboy who'd fallen in love with my neighbour who was a vampire. And she came up out of the coffin, and that's where we first met.
And what was the other coffin for?
The other coffin was for her parents, her mum or her dad. I think they shared, because they're a married couple, they're allowed
like a
to...
double.
I mean, to be fair, Moxie is loving this show.
And how did you explain all this to the police?
It was a lot of mime.
But it's quite a complex plot, so how would you convey it to them?
I think they had more things on their mind than the full... They didn't get to Act 3.
So, yes, at what point in your description of the story did they glaze over?
Right, Bez, what do you think?
Well, I love the plot of Neighbours with Long Teeth, and it's got to be true with Stephen, I reckon.
You think true, Moxie?
You don't think any of this is true, do you? You don't think this is really happening?
But don't you remember when the president of the Deutsche Bank was assassinated in Frankfurt?
When did this happen?
It would have been its late 80s.
I just born. Like.
So you're not a suspect?
That wasn't a big part of your childhood. Kind of. Let us tell you the story of the president of the Deutsche Bank.
Right, what's it going to be?
Well, I live around Frankfurt area. I mean, even if I wasn't there in the 80s, I think I would have heard the story.
How old were you when you went to Germany?
18.
You arrived in Frankfurt
Yes.
over 20 years after Steve's van was pulled over. I am not surprised they didn't mention it.
But this is a story. This is culture. You carry that on.
A school's tour of a play about vampires, and the police pull over their van once on what was quite a busy day for the police. I cannot share your confidence that they would have mentioned it to you, an 18-year-old dancer coming from South Africa. I don't think that will be on the things you need to know. Local restaurants, you know, this is how you pay the tax. The bins come on Tuesdays. Oh, and I must tell you, back in the late 80s, there was a guy here and he had a couple of coffins in his van. Turned out it was just a school's tour. If that's what you're basing it on, I'm going with Bez.
OK. So you're saying it's true?
Yes.
So, Steve, was it true or was it a lie?
True.
And they never mentioned it!